What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Deontay, the Bronze Bomber, Wilder. Deontay Wilder trashes Anthony Joshua for his shitty Pitty-Pat style of fighting, and he is no longer relevant in the heavyweight division. Now, of course, we know all the other things that Deontay said recently, earlier this week. Okay, and this was a couple days ago that he said that. This was just recently. And the strange thing about Deontay Wilder, I can see that he's either bitter, still bitter about the upset. And when I say the upset, that's what it is to the PBC and people with Al Heyman and everybody that was going for Andy Ruiz to win. And the way Joshua outboxed Andy Ruiz by a landslide, people. He did more like a typical Floyd Mayweather. It looked like a Floyd Mayweather fight. Where Floyd outboxes the guy, uses the ring, and not as skilled. Not saying that. But what I'm saying is it's a replica of what Floyd would do to fighters. So they were marking, banking, hoping, wishing, praying that Andy Ruiz would win again. That it wasn't just, a fluke. They thought, hey, it's a sure thing. Anthony Joshua got exposed. He ain't going to be able to withstand those punches from Andy Ruiz. You could tell he didn't have a chin. He didn't have a heart of a champion. All that stuff applied, and it was all thrown into a pot. And that pot was stirring of another victory, or a reason for another victory of Andy Ruiz. Now, since Anthony Joshua did outbox Andy Ruiz, this upset the whole ordeal. That's why I feel Deontay Wilder is still bitter. Okay? And, because it could be both. He's trying to promote a fight by his own. His ticket sales are not doing as well as people think they are. Those commercials were on Super Bowl, between him and Fury. And oddly enough, the number one thing Fury is known for is what? His soft punches. They call them pillow punches. He labels Anthony Joshua Pitty-Pat punches. Well, you turned down a whole lot of money just so you wouldn't fight a Pitty-Pat guy. And that lets you know he wasn't saying that before. So he's butthurt on the style and on the way that Joshua beat Andy Ruiz. Now, the funny thing about that is you had this guy dead to rights. He was going to lose. Then when he wins, you criticize the way he wins. Like, that's hatred in the first degree. That's a big glass of haterade right there to you. And it's funny that, here's the deal. If Deontay Wilder feels that Anthony Joshua is no longer relevant in the heavyweight division, and he is, what is he doing by talking shit about Anthony Joshua? What are you remotely doing? If he's that irrelevant, why are we talking about Anthony Joshua then? Why are you speaking his name? You know what I mean? That's not a boss move. That's like one of those things where you claim someone is not who they are and they really are. That's all that really is. Oh, he ain't that. He ain't this. You're cheerleading. You're hoping. You're hating. That's what he's doing. Wilder's hating. He's hating on the fact that hating to hope everybody would catch on. Like, you know what? Anthony Joshua ain't really nothing no more. It's like all those other channels, that's Wilder channels. They will say that like they're doing it to Canelo. Oh, Canelo's losing steam. Yeah, Canelo ain't the man. But what Deontay's trying to do, he's trying to steal that star power from Anthony Joshua. The only problem is you can't steal something from somebody that still possesses it. That's his problem. He thinks and hopes, well, I'm going to be like Anthony Joshua one day. I want everything that he had, right? But the only problem is he ain't fought the people to get where Anthony Joshua is. And he has a personality, but the type of personality he has is not suitable for all viewers. You know what I mean? Sure, to a certain demographic, Deontay Wilder, he does appeal to a certain demographic, but that's a small pool of people, you know? And sadly enough, those small pool of people, a lot of them don't support him. That's why, you know, so you wonder like, man, why these tickets sell so much? They saw the fight, you know, in their mind, you know, in their non-business marketable mind, they thinking, oh man, I seen the fight. I support you, man. Y'all seen your fight. You knocked him out. How did you see it, sir? How did you view it? Oh, I saw it on Fire Stick. Oh, I saw it on an illegal stream. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're not being a part of the solution. You're being a part of the problem. So he's really getting ripped off by his own fans. Okay, but to call somebody irrelevant, and you are relevant, you're making him relevant by saying he's irrelevant because people are gonna, Anthony Joshua, he's not talked about no more. And it's weird because if I'm on top, here's the thing. If I'm on top, why am I worried about who's on bottom? I mean, that's one of those simple, logical things. If you're on top, you don't have time to be worried about who's beneath you. You know what I mean? But it seems like to me, oh, he's irrelevant because this is not the first time he said that. This is Friday, people, and happy Valentine's Day to the people that celebrated. But he said the same thing on the 11th, that people don't even talk about him no more. He's not important no more. Now he's not relevant anymore. He's irrelevant now. So you're trying to preach to a bunch of people that someone is not popular or whatever and talked about, but you're talking about them. It's the biggest bunch of irony I've ever saw. You know what I mean? If you don't talk about a person, that means he's not relevant. So that means, well, you know, look, this is an example of somebody not relevant. Hey, you know, Anthony Joshua's looking for a fight. Who? Oh, yeah, okay. No, people don't really talk about him. So next question. That's an example of that. Not, oh, he ain't relevant no more. He pity-patted himself. He barely a champion. You know, he don't have a heart of a champion. You say, and he goes on these little mini rants every time Joshua's name is mentioned because he knows that's his rival. Here's my thing about Deontay Wilder. This is my counterpunch. Quit pretending a person is not relevant, because what you're ultimately doing, I know you're trying to hate and you're trying to bring shine to yourself. I get that. But in hindsight, if you plan on fighting this guy one day, you're going to have to talk his name up. You're going to have to make him marketable, which he already is. But you're going to have to make him somewhat a threat, a danger, you know, a good fight, a worth watching fight. You have to do that if you plan to fight the other champion, unless you're not. You see what I'm saying? So the more you talk about how like, oh, he's Pitty-Pat, nobody talk about him no more, he's trash, he's this, he's that. Well, I mean, according by you, if you go in and you go in and beat him, how is that going to elevate your career? But this goes to show you that a person that already thinks that they have arrived and haven't even left yet, that's the problem. It's like an extra trying to think that he's a superstar and he's really just an extra. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. But again, that's an ego thing. That's a mind thing. You know, it forms from arrogance. You know, people believing things that people tell them, you know, which it's a tactic to hype up. Yeah, Deontay, you the hottest thing walking. But if you really clearly can't see what's going on and this guy making all this money and things of that nature, because you notice Deontay Wilder has never mentioned that about the 85 million. The people that follow Wilder has, because they had to counterpunch or had to respond due to the fact that, yeah, this man made $85 million. You know, because you never heard Wilder anywhere make that type of money. Not even 50, okay? Not even 35. Now, they gave him 30 just to keep him at Showtime, then they dropped him. We all know that. But ever since then, it's been quiet. It's been silent. It's been, oh, it ain't nobody business what I make. Okay, now you're becoming like the rest of those PBC guys, but when someone gives you an offer, you claim it ain't shit. You know what I mean? Like you make that amount of money. But anyway, to Deontay Wilder, I think he really needs to start talking positively about Anthony Joshua. So when he knocks out Fury, that'll be the fight to be made. Hopefully that's what he's doing by saying he's irrelevant, but I don't really see that happening. But hopefully, if he's smart, you know, and if you hate him that much and you want to have the success that he had, do the things that he's done and you will get that success. Point blank and period. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Deontay Wilder telling Anthony Joshua that he is no longer irrelevant and accusing his Pitty-Pat way to victory against Andy Ruiz. Anyway, please subscribe, and you guys been counterpunching. Peace.